I am the Podfather, Terry Stone, and I've got a very special guest, the leading lady from the Rise of the Foot Soldier franchise, Emily Wyatt.
I had to wear my own underwear in the film. I just happened to be wearing a black lacy set. That Marbella premiere, do you remember what happened with the guy? Posted the video where you mooning Charlotte.
Do you want to know something funny?
Yeah.
That wasn't in the script.
Was it not?
The Podfather's bum has offended people.
So he was supposed to kiss me and he refused.
Out of all the films I've been in, that's probably the funniest. And I'm standing on the stage, I'm going, don't worry guys, publicity stunt. And everyone started going, yeah! Yeah, your most recent movie.
Yeah.
Rise of the Foot Soldier Vengeance.
I didn't know what I was doing, and then I started forgetting my lines. Then I'm moving stuff at the wrong time, and I think they've probably cut half that scene. Yeah, well, so I was petrified of Craig before, like even when I first met him, I was petrified of it.
But do you think people would be upset?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So I want to say a big thank you to all their sponsors for making this podcast happen. Without you, we wouldn't be here. Stargaze Entertainment, thank you so much. These guys are hosting celebrity events up and down the country, giving you the opportunity to get up close and personal with your favourite celebrities. Sure Pure CBD, your natural path to wellness and balance. Dream Mentoring for all your mentoring needs. If you need some positivity in your life, Tom Smith is the man. And finally, to Carson & Kay Solicitors, the UK's leading criminal law firm, to help get you out of any tricky situations you may find yourself in after watching this podcast. To find out more about any of their sponsors, click on the links in the description below.
So welcome back to the Criminal Connection podcast. I am the Podfather, Terry Stone, and I've got a very special guest, the leading lady from the Rise of the Foot Soldier franchise. Please put your hands together for Emily Wyatt.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
What a pleasure, you.
See, most women won't use that word, but I actually like the way Emily, or Charlotte, she's better known in the Rise of the Foot Soldier film, uses that word. You know, it's a term of endearment.
I think so, and I think she's taken the power back, hasn't she?
Absolutely, because you know people used to say that word, and people used to go, "Oh, you can't say that," or "I find that highly offensive." But I think now it's just become.
It's a term of endearment, like you said. Like me and my mates, we all. My mum even says now.
Even your mum.
Even my mum, and she's never watched the films.
Wow.
I know.
Do you know something? I reckon that's been. I reckon when you're doing your lines and you're rehearsing, I reckon she hears that, and she's it comes in. She's pumped to the premieres, though, isn't she?
No, she's not. And I invited her to the next premiere, and she said no. I know it's not her scene. She said.
But mummy, they say their favourite word.
I know. Bless her. No, bit too violent.
But yeah. I mean, that's the only problem with these true crime gangster films. They are a little bit violent.
They are.
But I wanted to talk really to you today to find out a little bit more about the real Emily Wyatt.
Okay.
That people don't know about.
Yeah.
So what's your story? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Berkshire.
Right.
Yeah, in Caversham. I'm quite private, I'm quite closed off, so not a lot of people.
Not a lot of people know that.
Not a lot of people know that about me. My family are from the West Country originally, so it comes out every now and then. Who are? My dad used to live in Devon. No, I've never done an interview, so I never want to be like misconstrued or misrepresented.
Okay, well we're going to misrepresent.
No, you're not. I trust you. I can't even say
We're not. But so you grew up there, and then when would you say you realised that you wanted to have a go at being an actress? Was it something you wanted to do from a young age, or?
Yeah, always, really, really young. And I was doing Saturday stage school at the Kenton in Henley.
Right.
So it was like an hour of dance, hour of singing, hour of acting.
My daughter does. She's obsessed with it.
It's like Stageworks, but it was called Stagecoach back in the day, I think. And I loved it. But I didn't like the dancing and the singing, I liked the acting.
Right.
And and we'd do like pantomimes and showcases. Right. Yeah.
Did you play Mary in your school nativity?
No,
play?
I didn't. Do you know, I've always been like proper buoyed off when it comes to like parts.
Really?
So we had Aladdin at drama school, and I was like, I'm going to be Jasmine or Aladdin. I was Lily, the dinner lady. Like, it just does wonders for your self-confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah. Emily, we've cast you as dinner lady, and you'll be like, I mean, and this isn't anything disrespectful to any dinner ladies, but
No.
normally dinner ladies aren't that hot.
No, I had like a fishnet thing on. She was a time-travelling dinner lady, so she like finds Aladdin's lamp in the school canteen, she rubs it, and then she takes them on their journey. So she was still a leading lady, but it wasn't quite in the manner that I expected.
So you did that, and then when did you think actually? Because I think when people leave school, regardless of whether they get qualifications or not, people have something that they either want to do, or that they would like to do.
Yes, that's it. So I was never pushed to do acting like academically, or like I was pushed away from it rather. So I didn't do acting GCSE or anything like
Is that the parents?
Yeah.
So every actor I've ever met, the parents, unless they're actors, of course, have always said, when are you going to get a proper job? You know, only do it, just do it part-time, darling. You know, it's never going to happen. And people do sort of talk you out of
They
doing
try.
it.
They try really hard. And I'm still getting told, like, when are you going to get a proper job? And it's like,
But now?
I'm 35. It's not going to happen, is it? Like, yeah.
Do you know something, though? The crazy thing about acting, and someone said this to me the other day, and I actually thought it was great, right? I said, you know, when you go into an amusement arcade, and I'm a little bit older than you, so you may not have gone into an amusement arcade and done this, but there used to be this machine, and it's got these like steps, and you used to put, well, I think now it's 10p pieces, but then it was 2p pieces, and it'd go down and it'd push it, and then obviously.
Oh my God! Yeah, of course, the 2p machines.
Yeah, so you obviously want the money to come out, right? And it looks like it's going to come out, and you put 2p in, and
they have little key rings and stuff on top.
Yeah,
and you're trying
nothing,
to get the stuff to
nothing
fall off.
comes out, and you go fuck, and then you put another 2p in, and then you go, oh yeah, you put another 2p in, and then you get 4p out, and you go, oh, I've put 6p in, bottom 2p down, maybe I'll get a bit more, and this is, that's like acting, you know, you do a job, you do an audition, you don't get the part, and I think personally, I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years, and my personal experience of it is, you know, there's many times when I've just thought I can't bother with this anymore, because it does irritate you, because you go in and do an audition, you don't get any feedback whether you were good or bad. You just get told. You don't even get told.
You've
anything.
got to ring your agent and say, "Did I
what
get
happened?
it?" Or
No,
they've
no.
started filming because you can see it on the telly. You're like, "Oh right, cheers."
So I think it's quite a, I'd say, a brutal business. And I think you have to have thick skin, and you just have to literally do an audition, forget about it, do a job, forget about it, and it's in the laps of the film and television gods.
That's it, and you've just got to enjoy the process.
Absolutely.
So you've got to enjoy putting the money back into the machine.
Yeah.
And the feeling that it might happen. But
I think it will. I genuinely think. I mean, the good thing now is, obviously, when you got to 30 as a woman actress, you were kind of written off. But then since they've started to say, well, this is wrong, you know, women shouldn't just be young and beautiful. They can be old, they can be fat, they can be tall, they can be small, and they push this whole sort of thing. I think what's the shift is now, like it was okay for men to be fat and old and act, but it wasn't for women. But now they've changed that, and now I think, you know, you could act till you was 85, I can act till I'm 8. So I think, and I met June Brown when I did a couple of episodes of EastEnders, like right in the beginning of my career. And she was so funny because she'd be on the set and she'd be just smoking away.
yeah.
Right, like that. And then you talk to her, hello, June, how you doing? Oh, all right, love, how are you? You know. And she'd walk on a set and just deliver like pages and pages of dialogue. And then she'd come back and sit there and start doing that again. And I was like, you are unbelievable. I said, how old are you? And I think she was about 75 or 78 then, right? And I remember saying to her, when did you get your big break?
Yeah.
I said, this is my big break.
No way.
So she said she'd left school, she'd done drama school, she went to wherever she went, and she'd done an advert, she did an episode of this, she did a little film, she did a bit of a play, and she said for 40 years, that's what I did, just bounce around doing bits and pieces, doing some rep theatre. And then she said, then when I get the EastEnders call, I think she was 60.
Shut up.
And that was my big break.
God.
She said, I've been here ever since.
That's amazing, isn't it?
But when I heard that story, as a sort of businessman, actor, producer, whatever you want to call me, I thought, wow, you know, your time's when your time is. You can't, you know, and when I went into this, I'd come out of running clubs all around the world, and I was already, you know, the top of my game. So when someone said to me, do you want to be in a movie? And I did it, I expected a year later, I'm on a plane to Hollywood and I'm a leading man in a movie.
Oh, really?
I thought it'd be that quick.
Oh, my God.
But then when you do it,
Yeah.
And then you get a dose of reality.
Yeah.
And then you realise, actually, I've got to go to drama school. I've got to learn. I've got to work. I've got to audition. I can't, you know, that was just a bit of luck getting a part in the film. And I think luck does play a big
Luck plays
part in
into it, but you've got to be ready for the luck. You've got to be prepared and you've got to endure it.
I think luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
That's what they say, Terry. Yeah.
So you come out of school. You knew you wanted to be an actress.
Yeah, and so I sort of dallied in modelling, just your normal modelling, not anything saucy.
Oh, that's really disappointing.
I
I thought you
know
was gonna-
everyone's going to be on the phones now. No, just
I
like,
want you to say I was a model.
I was not a model.
You was you
like
what-
commercials
Was that was you signed with one of the major?
Yeah, I was with an agent, and that was like my first insight actually, because back then, like modelling and acting were really far apart.
Right.
And if you were a model, you weren't deemed like you could do acting. Like you're
Right.
just a bit sort of dumb. Like no offense, that was what people thought. But now the worlds have collided like completely. So you get commercials. They cast for models and actors, and that was how I first got into it. Was doing commercial castings, going up to Spotlight,
Right.
and then I went to drama school.
Which drama school did you go to?
I went to drama studio
Oh, right, that's a
in
good one.
Ealing. Yeah, it was good. But I was a postgrad by then, so I was already 25. I'd been to uni. Yeah.
So you was a late star.
I was I'm a late bloomer. That's what they say.
So when you as at uni, what did you study at uni?
I studied drama and creative writing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, where's the scripts? Have you not written a script?
I've written
yet?
loads, yeah.
See, this is all new stuff to me.
Yeah.
You never told me that you was a writer as well.
Well, that's what I would love, I think, for me, to be able to walk into a room and know that I've written what people are watching.
Yeah, amazing.
That would fill me with enough,
Right.
that would be great.
I think if you're creative, whether you're acting or you're writing, you're creating. So
Yeah.
And even when you're modelling, you know, if there's a picture of you selling a product or a picture of you wearing a product that people go, wow, I want to buy that.
Yeah.
You know, you're creating something good, right?
Yeah, and it is selling. It's all selling, isn't it? Worked in advertising as well. Straight after university, I worked in advertising.
Right, wow. So what was you set? Was you
I was doing copywriting
Right,
then
okay.
for an advertising company in Bristol, and they sacked me and told me to go to drama school because I just wouldn't shut up about films.
Do you know something? That's in life, when you go along the road, sometimes things happen that put you on that path.
Yeah.
And I remember all the stuff that's happened to me has been through people either saying, why don't you do this, or why don't you try that, or someone, or there's an opportunity just lands in your lap.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with a lot of people in the world, not just England, is they get opportunities, but they're frightened of them. They're worried about it. Oh, you know, I'd like to do that, but what if it doesn't work? Well, so fucking what? Do you know what I mean? If it doesn't work, do something else, right? And in a sort of strange twist of fate, because that person said, I'm sacking you, start at drama school. If that hadn't sacked you, you might have just stayed there.
I know.
And it always had that vision, I'd like to be an actress, I'd like to do this, and never done it. So,
know.
in a way, you should write them a thank you letter.
I'll be stuck at Hooters in Bristol. Do you know I used to do that, Terry?
You was a Hooters girl.
I was a Hooters girl in Bristol. I was one of the only Hooters in the country. I think there's one in Birmingham as well.
In Bristol.
I was in Bristol and I was a Hooters girl.
Wow.
Yeah, so things could be very different.
Do you know something? I remember going to Vegas, and I can't even remember where it was, but someone said, oh, we've got to go to Hooters. And I was like, what's that? And I was like, oh. And I was probably like 21 or 22, you know.
Yeah.
So back then it was all like, oh, Hooters, you know, nudge, wink, wink, Hooters.
It was brilliant. I loved it. We'd be on the space hoppers on the weekend with the kids.
See, I didn't have a go on a space hopper. I didn't see them in a space hopper in Vegas. But what happened in there? What was the drill then? Was you on a space hopper bouncing around
yeah,
going, welcome to Hooters?
yeah, basically. And you're racing with do you know what it was? On the weekend, all the single dads would take their kids out for lunch and they'd bring them to Hooters.
Wonder why.
Yeah, exactly. And we'd be having fun with all the kids.
And I guarantee you, those same dads would be sitting at home watching Rise of the Foot Soldier going, I know that person.
Where's that
somewhere.
photo? Where's that photo from the early 2000s?
I'm sure she was on one of those space operas in Hooters 20 years ago or 10 years ago, whatever it was.
Singing all the songs and that.
So what was the songs you had to sing?
Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? I used to always really busy myself whenever we had to start singing. So I'd
so you've
suddenly
got-
be an amazing worker. I'd be washing all the cutlery. I'd be taking the bins out. So I don't sing and dance for anyone.
So if we got you to sing and dance, that's a bit of a... Is it because you're not very good at it or because you just
no.
don't like doing it?
I've got a very nice singing voice.
Right.
I can't dance for shit. So
What was could you sing something now or not?
no,
Just one thing. Just
I don't think so. Maybe later. We'll warm up a
Saving all
little.
my love for you.
Why have I said that? I've just set
I don't
myself
know.
up
No,
now.
I'm just like, it's like it's like you go on somewhere and say I'm a really good shot, and then we got a gun, and I go, well, shoot something.
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't really want to shoot anything today, but
I've set myself up. haven't I?
but I didn't know any of this stuff, so I'm so there you go. Hooters to Hollywood. That
There
could be
we
your book.
go.
That's your book.
Oh, I love
Hooters to
that.
Hollywood.
Good title, The Podfather and Hooters to Hollywood.
So you went to drama school.
Yeah,
And what was that like?
I hated it.
Was it? I mean, was it being a tree you hated, or
Yeah, being a tube of toothpaste and all this wank. No, from the moment I started, I was ready to finish.
what was it? Did they asked you to be a tube of toothpaste?
That was one of the things. Yeah,
How'd you do that?
Oh, you just stand still. It's all about stillness, isn't it? And embodying. And you understand. I do as an intelligent person. I understand why they're making you do it.
I just got a question though, right? Because you're an intelligent person and I'm an unintelligent person. I just need to understand.
Yeah.
Right? If you stand still and you become a tube of toothpaste,
Yeah.
how does that apply to a role? I mean, what
I don't know. I mean, we
do
did.
you have to sort of squeeze yourself up? And you
Yeah.
just sit there like that?
No, it's the same. Like I did Uncle Vanya, and I had a part, and Sonia.
Please
and
don't. I thought you say you played the uncle.
No,
That's
no,
gone
no.
from being the dinner lady to the uncle. What's
I
going
know.
on?
I kept on getting dogged at drama school there, and they had my scene. My character just faced the window for the whole scene,
Right.
so she had her back to the audience. So it's backting, right? And you pay so much money to go to these schools. And it's like, come on, mate, like. And then she just turns around at the end of the scene. She's just crying, and I just thought, I will be crying. Like, just get me out of here. Right. Like, I've already been to Spotlight. I've already had agents.
Right.
Why am I making my dad pay
But
for
no,
me
I-
to do this?
Do you know something? No, I think I'm sure all the acting schools aren't the same.
No.
Right? But I think I think it's the thing to the done thing.
I
you
think
know.
so.
If you go to, you can say, oh, I'm a classically trained actor. You know?
Yeah, you've got to. And I think with acting school, agents, I mean, there's obviously other ways to do it. You can create your own work, but it's probably the easiest and the most common route, isn't it? Like, I would recommend it.
And then they do the showcase, and then hopefully an agent sees you and spots your
Most
talent.
people finish drama school with an agent, which is like.
Is that
the
what
end
happened to
goal.
you?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like ready to work. You know him actually.
Yeah, I do. And it's funny because you've got Hooters, Dinner Lady, Uncle Vanya backed in. I mean, then you get your agent, and
Yeah.
and then when would you say what was your first sort of role? And when I say role, I'm talking about television and film.
So I was really, really lucky. So I did I think I did Casualty first.
Right.
Casualty was my first big break.
What happened in that? Did you hurt your foot or
No,
your ankle?
do you know it was fucking brilliant? Are we allowed to swear?
Yeah, of course you
fucking
are.
are.
Say whatever
Yeah.
you fucking like. It's fine.
I had to get my forklift truck driver's license
Right.
for this role. So my first day on set ever for the BBC, and they've got me down in Cardiff on doing my truck license, like driving around pallets and stuff to make sure I could pull off. I know. Can you imagine? I don't even have a driver's license, but I actually did it, and I did it first time, and I had my license. And then the next day, I had to pull off a huge stunt where they had this warehouse rigged with all these wires, and my character's just like a little idiot, basically. And she's driving around, she's having a night with her brother, and she spins the forklift, and she knocks something holding up the warehouse, and the whole thing falls down, and her brother's stuck underneath.
Right.
So it was like huge. It was like a Christmas special.
Wow.
It was sick. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because normally, Casualty and The Bill, those were the two sort of
That's what you
things
grow
that,
up watching,
and the
Saturday
people,
night.
that people like you come out of drama school.
Yeah.
I had an audition for Casualty, but I didn't get the role.
What was it for? What was sort of part?
Somebody hurt their leg. I mean, and that's why I said, "Did you hurt your leg?" Because
No.
it's always somebody's hurt their leg or been run over or whatever.
No, I was doing the running over.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And I think the guy that I auditioned for, I was being aggressive in the hospital. So
Oh, you didn't get it?
no.
That's weird, isn't it?
No, I thought I did aggressive quite well.
Or maybe you did it too well. I feel like we don't want this nutcase here.
Just in case he just takes it too far.
Yeah, that's it. A bit
And
too
then,
method.
and then what happened after Casualty?
And then I did Doctors. And then I was playing a pregnant woman who was a
Right.
surrogate for her twin. So it was really nice, like, to get these sort of rite of passage roles. So to do like Doctors, Casualty. What's the other one?
Did you do EastEnders or not?
Yeah, and I did EastEnders. That's the other one. Yeah. So I played a STD nurse in EastEnders.
I bet that was fun.
It was great. I think Lucy Beale had been. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you actually have to see any patients?
Yeah, I had to learn how. We had like a real nurse on set with us. Oh, it's just weird because when you've got to put like blue gloves on and stuff, you think that's a really easy thing to do. And when you've got, they shoot really quickly, don't they? So you've got 3 cameras, you've got your mid, your close up, and your wide all at once. And I had to put blue gloves on and try and like take blood and.
Do you know what? So the scary thing for me when I did it was that you literally, like you said, it's just like moving on, and you're like, oh, was that okay? Or and you sort of
No feedback or anything. They're literally halfway down the street.
But I actually know somebody who is an STD nurse.
Oh, you do?
And I
what,
actually,
personally?
Yeah. But just and I actually said to this person, I said, look, I said, what actually happens? You know, and he said we have all sorts of people. He said the best ones are when people go into A&E. And they've got things obviously stuck up their backsides.
Oh, right, okay.
And they go, I don't know how it got there.
Oh, they're slipped.
I just sat down and it's just, and he said, we should put a notice on the door saying anything that goes in your back passage isn't by accident. It's by choice.
It's by choice.
But then I sort of said, what happens with the STD thing? How do you sort of, and it was actually quite graphic, right? And for women, I think they sort of do some sort of scraping thing, but I think for men it's actually quite bad because I think they actually put something in and then it opens up.
Yeah, it's like a fox's willy, isn't it? It's like spurs that come out, drags it down.
It is scary to think that you go there and then they bring this thing out, and just the thought of it makes me just like never ever want to have sex with anybody ever again.
Oh, really?
But I am married, so it's not. I'm not going to do that anyway. But if I wasn't married. And I knew
you could
that
wear
could
a condom
happen.
though, couldn't you?
But that is a good idea. You could wear a condom, but you know what men are like. Most men are a little bit sort of,
They've just bringing out a male pill, aren't they?
But then, how does that help?
I think it makes you infertile while you're taking it. I think you still produce the goods, but
you definitely don't want to be doing that, do you?
Well, I think you would if you didn't want
a baby.
Kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I wish I'd had someone with that.
But that's funny that you did.
STD.
So is it actually, were you actually called the STD?
No,
nurse?
I was called Nurse Rachel Covell.
Right.
Yeah.
So there you go. So Rachel Covell on EastEnders is an STD nurse. So it's great because lots of people will recognise you from obviously being in the Rise of the Foot Soldier franchise and not knowing any of this stuff. So I think it's really interesting. So you've done Doctors, you've done Casualty, you've done EastEnders, and then what was the next? Just
loads of films. I've done loads of films.
Right.
Because it's been, nearly like 15, 20 years?
Yeah. So what other films have you done? We'll get onto the Rise of the Foot Soldier films in a minute, but what other films, obviously we did one together recently, but were they crime films or were they?
I did a film called Hurricane, which was really cool, which was about the Polish fighters in the air for the RAF in England. That was really cool. That was like quite big.
Right. Because I think if you look at your career, you obviously in Rise of the Foot Soldier, you play this kind of, real gangster bitch. You know what I mean? That's like, basically just
an horrible,
dark character, but great. And it's funny because when you look at you as a person, and then you look at your early career. Obviously, you wouldn't expect.
No, I know.
So let's talk about your Rise of the Foot Soldier, the Pat Tate story.
Yeah.
You've got this crazy American called Zach Adler.
Yeah, bless him.
And you auditioned for the part of Pat Tate's wife.
Yeah, I did. So.
Or his girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah, the one that's Laura's played in the end. She did a very good job, and I'm really pleased I didn't get it because they actually wrote in Charlotte for me.
Amazing.
So which is really cool.
So what did you do to kind of get yourself into that thing? Did you sort of hang out with some gangster bitches?
Yeah.
Or
to get into the role?
Or did you, sort of look at somebody and think, actually, that actress, the way she played that in that gangster film, I want to do something like that. Did you have like something you wanted to create with a character?
I don't know. I love films like Pulp Fiction. I love Uma Thurman. So maybe people like that were in the back of my mind. But for Charlotte, the way she was created, she was sort of based on my alter ego.
Right.
Maybe that's a bit too honest, but like, because this sounds a bit wanky, but like, I studied Meisner as like an acting technique, which is.
I did as well.
Yeah, mate. what do they say? So
Wearing a black t-shirt.
there we go. And you're living truthfully in imaginary circumstances. So it's just you in that situation.
Right.
So I was thinking, if all of this had happened to me, if I was Charlotte,
Right.
this is how Charlotte would do it. You know,
got it.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and I've hung around with people who are quite like Charlotte, like with the drug taking and the bitchiness, and she's cool. I mean, she has softness. Like when she's with Craig and she sort of thinks she's getting what she wants, she comes across quite nice, doesn't she? But she's double-edged.
Do you know something? When I watched the Pat Tate story, Rise of the Foot Soldier 3, it made me laugh the way you play that character because when I was doing clubs,
Yeah.
and obviously when you're doing dance music events and you're going, you know, all around the world, there was loads of crazy girls like that, loads.
Yeah.
And the reason I laughed was I was like, fucking hell, I've been out with somebody like that.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I remember somebody like that. Do you know what I mean? So it was
think
just
that's
like,
it.
so I think from a character perspective, I think what you did with that character was bang on. And I think anybody who knows anybody like that would go, that's what those crazy girls are like.
She's a recognisable stereotype, isn't she? I
yeah.
think. And she's just so much fun. But there's such a responsibility, isn't there? When you come back to do a film and play the same character again and again,
Yeah.
and to like give the audience what they want.
When you did it, I mean, obviously, you know, I don't know if you're self-conscious, but actually be some of those outfits that you wore,
yeah.
right? You know, you couldn't go out and have a Big Mac in the evening, could you?
No, you couldn't even wear them by the pool. You couldn't even. I know you get done.
And I mean, when you were doing it, was you sort of? Did you ever sort of have those? I mean, most actors do have those doubts. You know, oh, do I look all right in this, or am I delivering it right, or is this character right? Did you ever have any of those?
God, definitely. And that's why you just don't know until you see the film. Right. You don't know whether you've been done dirty or not, do you, with the lighting or the directing? Because I don't like to watch stuff back. So
it's difficult. I think if you sat there watching yourself going, look at me, aren't I wonderful? There's got to be something wrong with you,
exactly. Right? No, none of that. It's horrible. But I have a sense of empowerment when I'm playing Charlotte. So I know that I'm playing a character. So yeah, people might judge your body and say this, saying that, but I'm an actor and I'm doing my job. So unless they've got something bad to say about the acting, I don't give a shit if they say I've got a fat ass.
But I genuinely, I don't think you've got a fat ass, Emily, and I think you looked amazing in the film.
Thank you.
And I think what was good, I think when you watched the first Rise of the Foot Soldier film, obviously there were women characters in there, but I think in the third one, that was the first time when you actually, I think Charlotte was an actual leading lady character rather than just some girl who's turning up. That's
a bit of wallpaper, yeah,
actually,
something to look at,
which was good. And
yeah,
I mean, what memories have you got of the first one, the Pat Tate one?
The very first one.
You must have some funny stories you can share.
Well, I like being with Larry Lamb. I thought that was wonderful.
He's a great actor.
He was lovely.
He's a nice guy.
So he was supposed to kiss me, and he refused. He refused to kiss me, which I thought was really upsetting. So we're really looking forward to it. Right. And Zach said, you come down the stairs and walk over to Charlotte and give her a kiss, and then say you got a flight to catch. And he sort of went over, whispered, came back. He said, I'm not going to kiss you.
Right. Okay. You say why?
Well, because I was like this sort of. I was younger than his daughter, was sort of the general feeling.
You say, but it's called acting, though.
Yeah, but do you know what he did? He walked over on scene, he grabbed me by the head and he just kissed my forehead and then walked away, and it actually it transpires so much better on screen than if we'd had a snog. It was really beautiful.
But then that was, I mean, obviously you was a couple, weren't you? So you'd imagine. I mean, I think it's difficult. I mean, it's, I've always found, it's always weird. Loads of people have said to me, "Oh, when you do them sort of scenes where you're kissing someone,
you must love it."
And you always go, "No, it's actually there's nothing to love about it." No. There's 30 people in a room. There's a camera there. There's some of a microphone there. There's all these lights on you, and it's probably the most unsexy. It's just literally like let's just get this over quickly.
That's it. You don't enjoy it. It's not pleasurable, and you've got to be a bit of a pervert if you're getting enjoyment from it. But Craig Fairbrass refused to kiss me as well. He sort of cut that out of the script. But it all works in Charlotte's favour. It actually gives her more gravitas as a character because you're not.
Everyone wants to kiss her, but they don't, and it's like, well, she's not putting it out.
Yeah, she's not putting it out. She's not actually getting her tits out. She's not really tonguing anyone on camera. You know, there might be it might be simulated or it might be suggested, but she holds her power by that never really
Not
happened.
tonguing people, not getting the tits out.
Yeah, not tonguing, not getting your tits out.
Girl power. You know, we get to the premiere. We had a great premiere in London, and we had a great premiere in Marbella. That was the first time that we all went to Marbella.
It was,
which was great fun.
so much fun.
And what was your thoughts when you actually saw on the screen? I know it's difficult to pat yourself on the back and go, didn't I do well? But when you watched it, did you think, well, actually, my ass actually looks quite good?
Well, when you see yourself on like such a huge screen, you still don't come away feeling good.
Oh, right.
You don't. Okay. I don't think anyone would.
But was you happy with your performance at the end? Did you?
I think the film's brilliant. Like, I loved the film. And when you're sat there and you've got people wolf whistling and like go, cool, and you're sort of sat at the back.
Because you get told off if you wolf whistle women now, you know.
Someone, I know, but do you know someone did that to me on the way here today? And I thought, that's bollocks, because you could have got arrested. So, like, you've obviously really felt the need to do that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I was a woman and someone wolf whistled me, I'd be quite happy about it.
Yeah,
and that's just not from a sexual thing, but just because I think everybody likes to be complimented. Even if someone said to you, I think you probably prefer if someone said to you, oh, you look lovely, or I like your shoes, or I like your hair, or whatever, rather than going.
Yeah, but it was really weird. It was like a strange. I was like, gosh, that's not happened for years. But I think what they've tried to do with the law is to get rid of these scaffolding builders from doing it to like school children who've got to walk past a few times a day and stuff. So, but I was like, oh right, okay, we've still got it.
I always thought it was a term of endearment, wolf whistling.
Yeah, well, you've got to be careful now, haven't you? Do you know what? Let's go back to that Marbella premiere. Do you remember what happened with the guy?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, before we talk about that, let's talk about. So that's all come out, it's all done well. And then did you think, oh, there's going to be another one and we're going to come back again?
No, I don't know. Because so that was the second, when I was left in the desert, I kind of thought, that's it.
No. I'm talking
after
about
the first one.
So the third one. So the first one you was in was the third one.
Oh, yeah.
The Pat Tate story.
Oh, no.
But then when for me, the end of that film.
I thought that was it.
I thought that was it. I thought they've just come back, just done that. And then I remember Andy ringing me up and going, I'll tell. I'm thinking of doing Foot Soldier Marbella. Do you want to come back to Tony? And I was like, yeah, why not? Yeah. And he goes, well, Roland's in, Craig's in, Emily's in. We'll go out to Marbella for a couple of months, it'd be a laugh. And I was like, where do I sign? Do you know what I mean?
So I thought when he told me, I thought that just sounds like a pie in the sky sort of thing. I'm not going to pay too much attention to that. So I was really excited when it actually came through. Because we filmed in Cannes. We did our pre-shoot in Cannes in May on a boat. So
I wasn't there for that because that was obviously yours and Pat's thing.
Yeah.
On the that was on one of the boat scenes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I remember getting the script and reading it and just thinking, this is crazy. And I remember like just being on the set, and that's probably, I'd say, out of all the films I've been in, that's probably the funniest. Yeah. Not just from the end result, but actually doing it every day. It was like, you actually want us to do this? Yeah,
well, you guys were like smoking and stuff, weren't you? That was brilliant. You did that very well.
No, it was.
Was it crack?
It was, do you know what? I don't know, but it whatever it was in that pipe, it was like, I don't smoke. So obviously, whatever it was, when I was smoking, I was going, you know.
It's like method, and your eyes go all bloodshot.
But that was funny with Iffy Klaus in the caravan.
It was brilliant. He wasn't even an actor, was he?
I think that was just one of Andy's mates from the Groucho, but he was funny.
Matt Smith's friends.
But he was so honestly so funny, so funny. And I mean, you know, with that, because we was in Amsterdam, then we was in Marbella, then we was in Essex, then they obviously recreated that with Nigel Benn fight.
Yes.
I think, you know, at the Foot Soldiers, I think that was the sort of Only Fools and Horses meets Scarface. Yeah,
that's
what it felt
a really
like.
good analogy.
It was just sort of like so crazy.
People loved it as well. The response was amazing.
But
And
also-
the soundtrack's incredible.
But also, that was a lockdown movie, wasn't it? Because I don't know if you remember, when the lockdown happened, all the Rise of the Foot Soldier films went back on TV, and it was crazy because obviously everyone's thinking the world's ending, and we're sitting there, and people going, "You're on Channel 5," and it's like, "What? Oh, you're on Sky, you're on Amazon, you're on Netflix," and all these things were like popping up.
Yeah.
But I think lots of people watched the Foot Soldier Marbella in lockdown, and I think that was what really elevated it to the point where lots more people watched it. And then I had again we worked together on that one, and that was great. But we don't actually have any scenes, do we?
No, we just
Which
that
was
very
weird.
brief interaction when you
Oh
mooning
yeah,
me.
no, sorry. So do you know something? We had no scenes in the Pat Tate story,
No.
but we're talking about fat asses.
Yes.
Do you want to share that story?
Well, you actually got me. I thought you nearly got me banned from Instagram recently because I know your bum got me banned. I posted the video where you mooning Charlotte.
Do you want to know something funny?
Yeah.
That wasn't in the script.
Was it not? Was it not, you bastard?
Someone said, "Oh, when we drive off, why don't you do something funny?" And I was like, "What do you want me to do? Like moon or something?" They went, "Yeah, just do that. It'd be
That's
funny."
so
and it was fun. And it was funny. And obviously everyone laughs at that, but
Because it shocked me. Because that's right. I didn't see that in the script. I thought maybe I just missed it. I genuinely was like, oh,
what is going on? What is going
big
on?
hairy bum.
Yeah, that definitely. Yeah, it's not as it doesn't look as small as your bum.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah.
I'm calling you Charlotte now because I'm getting into character. We're
Yeah.
talking about bums in windows. But that got you.
So,
yeah,
North Korea, Syria, Iran, they've all.
they didn't like it.
They
another
didn't.
bum.
No, I didn't like it. No.
Did you message them and say it wasn't your bum, it was somebody else's?
Well, I don't think they cared. No, I don't think it was just about it was a bum. Yeah.
There you go. You've heard it here first. The Podfather's bum has offended people
You've
in
offended
Iran,
people
Syria,
worldwide.
and North Korea. But that was fun. I mean, again, you know, the talking about the premiere in Marbella and that crazy man coming.
That was really scary, but everyone thought it was like part of like the night that you guys had put on a show.
So for people that weren't there or haven't heard the story, we had people like Tom Zanetti, Alfie Best. There was all the cast, all the crew. We was having a really good night, and this guy decided to come, and he thought it'd be a really good idea to drink a bottle of brandy before he come.
Yeah.
And he was off his head, right? And I don't know how he got in, but he walked in, and he came up to me and he was going, "I love your films. I love your character." And he was being a nuisance, and we were just sort of like, "Oh, you know, thanks, mate." Blah blah. And then apparently, he went upstairs and started getting aggressive with Frankie.
Frankie threw him down the stairs, and I thought he broke his neck.
Now Frankie hit him because he started on Frankie. Frankie just hit him, and he went down the stairs.
Oh, okay.
And I remember like going up the stairs and seeing this guy coming down the stairs.
Yeah, I was at the bottom
Like that's that lunatic who's pissed
in the
right?
tracksuit. Yeah.
And then I got up on the stage and we were doing the speeches before the premiere started, and then and I didn't know this had happened, but he got back up and walked upstairs, and he didn't have a ticket.
Okay.
So I think one of the ushers said, "Have you got a ticket?" And he went, "No." And I think they said to him, "Oh, yeah, if you haven't got a ticket, you can't come in." And he said, "If you don't fuck, I'm going to stab you."
Yeah.
Right. So then the usher's gone, "Okay, you go in," and then phone the police. So we're on the stage doing this,
Yeah,
thanks
no.
for coming. I hope you enjoyed the movie. We're going to Taboo afterwards. And the fire exits go like that. And then the Guardian Civil come in with his shields.
Shields,
and they literally
lights.
run in, and then all of a sudden they go, "Ah!" And then smashing his geezer up, stamping on him and like putting these shields around him.
I know.
And I'm standing on the stage, I'm going, "Don't worry, guys, it's a publicity stunt." And everyone started going, "Yeah!"
But then they're like
it
looking for the
wasn't.
knife underneath all the
but
chairs.
he didn't have a knife, but he was
Did
just...
he not? Because I heard, so this is probably not true then, I heard that he'd also stabbed someone down the port
I don't... Do you know something? I
prior
don't
to
know.
turning up.
I mean, it could be true.
Could be.
But I don't think so, because apparently after they beat him up, they took him to the police station in Marbella.
Yeah.
And I think they kept him in for a couple of days and then let him out. So
Oh,
he
okay.
obviously didn't have... If he'd have stabbed someone in the port, they'd have put him in jail.
Yeah, so it's what you said. He threatened the
But
the
I think he
usher.
was just pissed and he was just being a nuisance. But
It was very exciting.
But
wasn't
people, but I did think, what the fuck is going on? Do you know
it?
what I mean?
I was scared, and I don't scare that easily because when the doors burst open and the Spanish police run in, you're like,
But they were all in like military gear and they all had like shields and stuff.
You're like, what? You couldn't have planned this better if it was like, publicity
And a
stunt.
couple of people were saying to me, what was all that about? I said, it's a publicity stunt. They always do it just to get people excited about the film.
Get you all excited, all worked out, and then the film starts. Everyone's like, "Way!"
And then obviously, again in lockdown, they ended up doing the Rise of the Foot Soldier Origins,
Yeah.
which unfortunately didn't have Charlotte.
No.
in, which I was very upset about.
I know. So a lot of people wrote to me about that, but obviously the timeline. If you were like a real Foot Soldier fan, you'd understand it didn't make sense.
I mean, the thing is, I think how Pat had his story was good, and I think obviously having Tony having his story, I'm sure if Roland did his story, that'd be good as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing about I think that franchise is it's become the only British UK film crime franchise, and there's people that love it, and there's people that hate it, but I think if you like crime films, it's fun. It's not meant to be, people going, the actors are, in their 40s now or the 50s playing 38-year-olds, it's stupid. But nobody really cares.
Who cares? It's
if
not what
you
it's about.
like Charlotte when she was 25 in the movie or when she's 35 in the movie, you still like Charlotte. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if she's 10 years older. Do you know what I mean?
And I am 7 years older now. So.
Oh, it's 7 years older.
Yeah.
So that you was 28 when you did 28?
Yeah, well, 'cause I'm 35 now,
Right, 27. Wow. So that's when you made your entry into the Foot Soldier franchise.
Into the Foot Soldier family. Yeah, I didn't have my husband, didn't have my baby.
So when you met your husband,
Yeah,
when was that?
that was in 2018. So it was the year that we filmed the second one. My
Right.
second one.
And then when did you have was the baby planned or was it just?
Yeah, we were in lockdown and I just felt like if I could do it, this is a blessing of like a time period where I could get away and take a break and have a baby, and we were so blessed that it actually worked.
You didn't really have a break, did you? Because I rang you up in lockdown, if you remember.
I know, we did a little
Said,
film.
Emily, I've got a movie for you.
And what did I do, Terry? I turned up on set 6 months pregnant.
Do you know what though? What was really funny? You never told me.
No,
So
I
when
know.
you walked in the door, I walked in, I looked at her and I thought, Charlotte's either really let herself go, right, or she's been overdosing on the takeaways in lockdown. Right, but obviously you don't say anything, so I didn't come up to you and say anything. But obviously in my mind I thought what's happened? Because I always remember you literally being like size 6. Do you know what I mean? You've never ever had any weight on you at all. So when you walked in, I was like, wow. But in a way, you were channeling the dinner lady, weren't you?
Yes.
You went back to that dinner lady character and thought, well, I'm going to be the barmaid, but I don't want to be a sexy barmaid.
No.
But I thought what was good about that in that film, from a personal perspective, is that everyone would have thought you'd have come out all like, hello, love, and all that, and you were like this sort of Dolly Bird barmaid.
Yeah.
But because you didn't do that and you come out and you was just playing a barmaid that had that side to her, I think a lot of people didn't expect that. And I think with this sort of stuff, and I think one of my favourite lines in the film is when because we've been digging Dan out all the time, whatever.
Yeah.
And then and then I think he goes up to the bar and sees you, and you look at him and go, hello. And I said, do me a favour, when you just go, hello,
Yeah.
whatever.
No.
And it's the funniest thing ever because he just didn't expect it, and he seems to go. That's not in the script.
Yeah.
People do actually put things in the script just to see if you're paying attention.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, that was a good film to do. I think it was a good film to do in lockdown, The Last Heist, and obviously it went on to Amazon. It was number 1 on Amazon on their crime films thing.
Yeah.
What did you think? Because obviously playing that was a different role for you.
Yeah, well, I'd seen the play, so I came and saw you in the play.
Was it hard? Was it hard for you being 6 months pregnant? Because I know with emotions.
Yeah, well, it's my sort of, like, when you're pregnant, you always have this point in pregnancy where your belly pops.
Right.
So I actually naively thought I could get away with it until about a month before we started shooting, and my baby just turned around, and I was like, oh my God.
Hello.
Yeah. So I actually do blame my agent with this. I had some other like balls rolling, and we didn't want to let the industry know I was pregnant.
Right.
And because of lockdown and because of the way things were going, and we were sort of doing the deal ourselves, we were like not letting anyone know, just seeing if the film goes ahead, and then
But
live.
genuinely, if you'd have said to me, by the way, I'm pregnant, I wouldn't have cared.
No, well, of course
I would have still
not.
said, great, Emily, you know.
But I was also in a bit of denial. I know it sounds stupid, and like about the way I looked, about whether everything was gonna go well. So I was in a very weird headspace. So it was a really hard time, and to film, and then to see myself that large on the screen is really like humbling. I think.
Well, also, you've got to remember, like when you look at anything on camera, it's £2 more.
I know. So can you imagine when I'm like weighing like as much as I did? I think I weighed nearly 12 stone.
Wow.
Yeah, and I normally weigh about 8.
Right.
So it's quite a big difference.
Do you notice, though, how professional I was? I didn't come up to you and say any fat jokes.
No,
I didn't say anything
nothing.
inappropriate. I was always just like, hi, Emily, how are
know,
you
you
look
were-
amazing.
You were lovely. Everyone was lovely. I mean, my breasts looked great, and my skin was good, and my hair was good. So you get these little blessings when you're pregnant. But
So you obviously had a boy.
yep,
If you didn't know that,
little boy
you've got a
Charlie.
little boy Charlie. Do you think he's going to get into the acting game? Do you think he's
He's got an agent.
really?
Yeah, he's got an agent. He's got a theatrical agent. It's a friend of a friend who I went to drama school with, so nothing too serious. I had a photo shoot with him when he was younger,
Right.
and the cameraman actually said he was the worst behaved kid he'd ever had.
So you
So-
thought he's definitely going to be an actor?
Well, sort of actually now I'm sort of backing off a little bit because I'm like, I'm not sure. If he enjoyed it, I would have really tried to pursue it. But every time the camera went, he wanted to go look at the camera. So he might be on the other side.
Right, you never know.
Yeah, or he wanted to turn all the switches and stuff. He's all into switches at the moment.
Do you think having a child and when me and my wife had our first child, you know, we said literally after the first year we'd never have any more children.
Oh, really?
Right?
Yeah.
Because he had reflux and he didn't sleep. So he just screamed all the time and I was like, I can't do this ever again.
Yeah.
And then it got sorted
Yeah.
and then it was okay. And then sort of when he was 3, it was like, maybe we'll have another one.
Yeah, I know.
And then we had another one. So I'm now on my 3rd, right?
Yeah,
But do you think you have any more or not?
I hope so.
Have you got a number? Because I always thought 2 would be enough.
Well, I've got 2 stepdaughters as well. So
Right,
they're sort of a bit older. One's about to be 16, one will be 20 next year. So we've got the girls. I'd love another boy. I think you don't really want to have an only child in that respect. They always turn out a little bit odd, don't they?
So if you have, like me,
Are you an only Terry? I could have told. Are you actually? I always turn out a bit odd. So I'm so
no, but
sorry.
loads of people could say I'm odd, so it's fine. But but I always wanted to have a brother or sister. I did.
Yeah.
But do you know something? I think when I look at my kids, you know, they all want your attention and they all want to be your favourite. They all
Yeah.
want, you know, they even though they might not say it, they all do want it. Very difficult to juggle it because, you know, you don't really have favourites.
No.
But, you know, there's things you do I like, there's things you do that I hate, there's things you do I like, there's things you do I hate. So you have this like love-hate relationship with
Okay.
them all.
That's very honest. I like that,
And,
yeah.
and, you know, that's just how it is. And sometimes they say something that you want to smack them around the ear, and other times they say something and you want to give them a cuddle. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
But,
Well, Charlie's just started talking, and he's got this thing which really annoys me. He's overly polite. So you go, Charlie, do you want to have a bath? He goes, oh no, thank you, mummy. And you're like, no.
No, me after you. I
Yeah,
insist.
yeah. He's like a real gent. He's like, it's his bedtime. No, thank you. We're like, what? That doesn't like give you a pass not to go to bed.
It's funny though, because he's probably thinking, because kids are bright like that. They
Yeah.
do come up with this stuff and go, oh, you know.
He walks down the path when we're walking the dogs, and he goes, "Oh, sorry." And it's like, well, that's a hint, a little bit of sarcasm there, and you haven't moved out the way, but never mind.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But then, you know, so you think probably if you have another one, that'd be it? Or,
Yeah,
Right, so
yeah.
four's the magic number.
I think, yeah, 4. And I think also at the age I'm at, I can't really, I don't know, you do take a hit with your career when you have kids.
Right.
And I do want to really get back into it.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's either sort of another child sort of soonish or not at all.
I know what you mean. I know what
Yeah.
you mean. I know what you mean. And then, yeah, your most recent movie
Yes,
is Rise of the Foot Soldier Vengeance.
that's right. Very exciting.
And Emily, aka Charlotte, is back.
She's back. She's really back. She's been picked up from the desert, and
So, you know, when you got the call, and you know, was you like, yeah, another one?
yeah. I mean, I've been told what the whole arc was for Charlotte from the beginning. From Andy, he's always had a very clear idea in his mind of what it was going to be.
Yeah.
So I had an idea of what was going to happen,
Right.
and it happens.
Did this feel different to the other ones?
Well, this was with Nick, and I'd not worked with Nick before.
Right.
And the other ones, Andy had always taken on more of a director's role, like sort of leading them through it a little bit. And this was very much Nick. Nick's very particular, isn't he? He really knows what he wants. And I've not worked with a director like that before. I'm quite used to having more free reign and more of a play, whereas Nick's like militant. He's got an idea of what he wants. So it wasn't, I think he won't mind if I say this, it wasn't as fun of an experience, but I think what we've ended up with is better than any of the other films.
Right. Okay. Well, I think when we did,
Except for the ones you were in.
of course, but no, but when we did Origins with Nick directing,
Which was incredible, the performance you got.
But it was completely different to the other ones.
Yeah.
And I think what Nick does as a director is he sees it his way and he knows what he wants. And from my perspective, I know some people, everyone has a different, they like, everyone has, that's my director. The reason I like Nick was because he was on everybody.
Yeah.
And he goes, this is what I want you to do. This is why I want you to do it. And when you're doing this, I want you to do this and I want you to do that and think about this. So he actually guided you through what he wanted.
Yeah.
So there was never any sort of ambiguity. He didn't come on the set and do it and then he goes, no, I don't want you to do that. He was like, before you did it, he was like, this is what I want you to do.
And they don't waste any time. So there's probably not much on the editing floor because he knows what he wants.
I mean, I liked him. I thought he was a good director.
Oh, I love him. He's one of my really good mates.
And I think, I think he did a good job with. I mean,
Origins was amazing.
yeah,
So I have to take my hats off.
he's only done obviously 2, but you know, having said, I mean, Vengeance is completely different.
Yeah.
And I think it's weird. It sort of doesn't feel foot soldiery. Like, you know, the other ones have got lots of, you know, there's obviously the 3 guys and then there's all these other characters. But I think that's gone off. But again, you know, I think with all these things, you have to do things different. Because if it's the same old thing over and over again.
It's almost a different format this time.
Yeah.
So there's not much of your like time frame jumping around.
Right.
I think it's pretty much linear because it was originally going to be called Take 2 Days of Blood, I
That's
think.
it, yeah.
It was all going to be over 2 days. And I think when they started shooting, realised
Right,
that
yeah,
didn't
cram
quite
it all
work.
in.
Yeah, so take over 2 weeks. So they called it Vengeance instead. But
Yeah, take 2 weeks of blood.
yeah,
Doesn't sound as good as 2
not,
days.
Not got a great ring to it, has it? But it's it's really, I don't know, it's really dynamic in the way that it's written, the way that the story's told.
Right.
It's different, isn't it? Because you've obviously read it, and I think people are going to love it.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
excited.
For sure. But do you think people are going to be upset?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think people are going to be upset though. I think,
think
they're,
so.
I
I
think
hope
they're going to be upset on a couple of levels.
Yeah.
Not just. You know,
No, there's a few big things that happen that are
There's
going
a few big things that happen, and you know, but do you know something? It's what I love about the franchise is whatever happens, it doesn't really make any difference because you can always go back. You can always go back, so it doesn't matter what happens.
complete creative life.
Yeah, which is good, and there's not many films that have done that and got away with it. You know what I mean? Because if you'd have said to me, that first film was made in 2006. If you'd have said to me, 14 years time, you're going to be doing a Tony Tucker film about you know, like a prequel to this, I'd be like, well, how'd that work?
How
and it
does
doesn't
that
make any sense,
No, it
but it
doesn't.
worked. So
Yeah.
it's just bizarre. It's just bizarre. So what's your what have you got that you're sort of working on next? So obviously the film comes out. Well, actually, the film will already be out.
Will it? Yeah.
It will be out by the time this comes out. The film will already be in the cinemas. And you know, what have you got lined up?
I've got a big film coming up, but I can't say anything yet.
Oh,
Yeah, so watch this space.
that's a bit bad.
I
Isn't it? You come on here and
know.
you can't even tell us
I know.
can you tell us what it's about or not? Or is it just
No, it's sort of all in the pipeline at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, there's more to come,
Okay.
and just really enjoying, looking forward to getting back.
Yeah.
Because I've sort of taken, for me, I feel like I've been in like almost like a retirement with the lockdown,
And
getting
you
married, having a child. So really lucky to do the last heist.
Yeah.
Do the foot
The last
soldier.
ice meant that we could all go to Marbella last year. It
I
meant that we had
know.
a Leicester Square premiere, which was good.
Yeah.
And then obviously, then you filmed Rise of Foot Soldier Vengeance.
Yeah.
And that's obviously out, you know, so I mean, you have been still working.
Yeah,
Even
I've
though you've
been
been getting
really
married,
lucky.
having babies, and having fun, you've been still been working.
It's still been working. I've been doing amazing things, and everything I've done is sort of going to screen, you know, because you spend a lot of time in your career working and making films that don't go anywhere. But in the world we're in now with Netflix, Amazon, things get seen, don't they?
Yeah.
So
Lots of people.
yeah.
You must have some funny stories on over the Foot Soldier
Oh
films.
God, I don't know really. Do you know I get offered a lot of drugs on nights out because
No.
people just assume I'm the same.
We haven't talked about this.
Oh no.
I think we should.
Okay.
I think when you're in something like this, people assume that is what you're like.
Yes.
And what you was just saying, I have the same.
Yeah.
People message you sometimes and say, I want to go out on a bender with you. I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's like, mate, I'm 52 years of age. I'm married with 3 kids. I go to bed at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm probably the most uninteresting person in the world.
Yeah.
And you want me to go out on a bender with you. I said, you know, maybe 30 years ago,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, when I was sort of young and stupid, I might have been able to stay awake
Yeah, and have less to lose.
past midnight. But I think as soon as you get a bit older,
Everyone
if I
just
have a glass of wine now, the next day I'm sort of
is that it? Yeah.
yeah. So I'm my sort of going out all night days are gone. But people always ask me. I mean, what for you? What sort of things do you get asked?
I get a lot of people ask me to call them,
Right.
which is fine. It's very easy. Doesn't take very long.
right.
A lot of people just love to buy you a drink, which is great. Or a lot of people want to take you to the toilet, like to do drugs, and it's quite. You know, you have to take it the right way. You got to be in the right
You
frame.
say, I'm a mother.
Well, yeah, you
I'm
can't, can you? Because you don't want to like, ruin people's.
I'm a mother of one, and I've got 2 stepchildren.
Very
as well. How
dare you? Yeah. No, you got to keep up the illusion. Obviously, I don't, but like, it's crazy how much you get offered it,
Right.
and then people assume that you're doing it for real in the films.
Yeah, I mean, someone actually said to me, "What do you actually take?" And I said, "Well, and when we did the original Foot Soldier, because I did a film once, but they played a practical joke on me,
Oh my God.
and they actually put flour on the thing, and they said, "Oh, you can sniff that; it's fine." I said, "What is it?" And they said, "It's flour." And I was like, "Can you sniff flour?" And they went, "Yeah, no problem." So I've done it. It was like that.
so grim.
And they go, "You got to do it again." And they made me do it about 6-7 times. And it actually made me feel all right. She had a sore throat.
Yeah, I'm not
And
surprised.
they was all laughing. They was going, "Oh, we was just fucking about. We didn't really. It's not even in the film." And I was just like, "Why did you do this to me?" Do you know what I mean? But then when I did Foot Soldier, I said, "That's not fucking flour, is it?" They went, "No. It's some sort of like glucose powder."
It's like a vitamin, isn't it? Yeah, like a fructose
But
tablet
the thing
all
is,
broken up.
after you've had about 6 or 7,
You're still like that.
you sort of. It's like you do get a little head rush.
And
off
you
it.
get a little backdrop, and you're like picking out little solid bits. You're like, "Mm, sorry, get rid of that."
And what we was doing is actually quite funny. Have you ever worked with Neil Maskell?
No.
So Neil Maskell, I mean, he's a great actor, and never worked with him before. And this was his first day on a film set. And you've seen the first one, haven't you?
Yeah.
So do you remember when Pat's in hospital and he's been shot?
Yeah.
And he's got like this prostitute in there, and he's got a gun in the bed, and we're all in there like laughing and joking, and then Ricky Arnett walks in, and he looks around and he goes, no, sorry, Neil Maskell's first. He walks in, and bear in mind he's never seen any of us, right? So I'm literally stood at the end of this bed, and we've done about 4 of these lines of this glucose stuff. Then I've got the bed, I start shaking, and then everyone starts laughing, and then Pat's like got this, this fake Coke stuff, and put it on this girl's breasts.
Yeah.
And then Neil comes in, and he walks in, and we're all like roaring with laughter. There's this naked girl standing there with this, like these lines on her tits, and he walks in, and he's just like that, and he's just looking around as if to say, "What the fuck have I walked into?" And then Pat goes, "Draw the line." Right? So then he does it, and then he sits there, and then Ricky Arnett walks in. He goes, "What the fuck's going on here?" But it was so funny,
Yeah.
like that. That some of those scenes, and so many people have said, they've actually been out and done that for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. People don't believe that you're
but,
acting.
But it's
it's
all,
impossible to do it. If it was real, it wouldn't work. And also the budget would have to be huge, wouldn't it?
And everyone would get arrested.
Well, yeah, and that, sorry. I was really worried, actually. Do you know what? It's a funny story. We filmed one of the boat scenes, and it's one of the scenes where I'm like, put the fucking gun down, Pat. Put him down, Patrick. And I put a gun to Pat Tate's head. Right. We filmed that in Cannes, and we had a real not like a real gun, but it was during the Cannes Film Festival. And they wanted me to pick up a gun and put it to his head. And we had all these snipers, because there'd been a terrorist attack quite recently, up on the Croisette, all watching. And I said to Andy, I was like, but if they see me with a gun, I'm just suddenly going to get like a red dot
But
on my head.
that'd be good for the behind the scenes.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be able to do number 3 and 4. Would I be out? I was shitting it. So I was doing it very, very quickly. And I was going like that. And then I was, Ben Law, I was passing it on to him and lighting, going, there you go, take it really quickly.
Right.
So scared. It's funny though.
What other funny stories you got? There must be some other ones.
I got a bit pissed when we did Vengeance because it was really, really cold, and I got to work with the wonderful Phil Davies.
He's great.
He's so lovely. I actually did snog him.
Really?
In the film.
And he was quite happy.
I think so.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he gave me a little grow in the film. It was in the script. It was scripted. No Me Too here.
Right, okay.
And we're doing this like breakfast scene, and for some reason it was real whiskey.
Right.
Like Charlotte comes back from a night out and she's got whiskey, and Nick wanted me to walk up the stairs, and I'm carrying 2 glasses and a whiskey bottle and put my hand around Phil Davis' neck and kiss him all in one. And I'm like, I don't have enough hands for this anyway. So it was already difficult.
Right.
So Nick's already thinking I'm a bit of an idiot. And then we've like modified it, and I'm allowed to just have 1 glass and all this. We change it, and I sit down and I undo it and I take a sip, and it's real. Well, oh, brilliant. I feel a bit warmer. And then we've got to go again for some reason because the sound's not working. I'm trying to undo it. It's taking ages. I take another sip. 4 times it took me. So I had 4 huge swigs of whiskey. By the time I did it the 5th one, I was sloshed. No, I didn't know what I was doing. And then I started to forget my lines. Then I'm moving stuff at the wrong time. And I think they've probably cut half that scene out.
Right.
That's really professional.
Did you say note to Nick? Don't give me whiskey next time.
I think I told Nick that I didn't enjoy working with him. And Nick's one of my very good friends, so he knew it wasn't true, but that was the alcohol speaking.
The truth serum.
The truth serum. I hate you. Stop shouting at me.
What? I mean, I don't think there's really ever been any bad stories, but has there been anything else that's? I mean, one of the things that happened to me and Roland, which was quite funny on Origins. It wasn't funny at the time. I was doing my nut, but it was funny in hindsight. Bear in mind that there was only me and him in that day.
Yeah.
Right? So there's only 2 people on set. Right.
Yeah.
So it's not difficult for a wardrobe department to look at and go, right, okay, you're in this scene. This is the day. Wear this.
Yeah.
But they put us in the wrong clothes.
Oh my God.
So we did the scene, and it was all day just doing this scene, this corridor, this talking and stuff. And then sort of on Sunday, I was sort of, I was like Mr. Motorvale. I went for a run.
Yeah.
And I was learning my lines for Monday morning, and I get a call. Oh, they put you in the wrong clothes.
Stop it.
What?
I've not heard of that.
But it was funny.
Yeah,
but,
well.
But it was annoying, but it was funny. But it didn't matter because we'd already done it. We already knew what we was doing. So it was literally...
Okay, did it quickly.
We picked it up and we got it in the tin. But I actually said, that was the only thing that's ever happened that was... like when you have a blooper reel or something goes wrong.
Yeah. So I had a funny moment. I remember, and it was obviously as like a woman, when you've got underwear scenes, there's certain like personal prep that you need to do. There's waxing and stuff that needs to happen. I had
To shave your beard off.
Yeah, got to shave everything off, and I just read my schedule wrong, and I turned up, and this was the Marbella one, and Zach was like, "We've got your underwear scene after lunch." I was like, he was like, "No, really, you've got your underwear." So I'm going to need a bathroom, right? So I had a shower, whatever, and the wardrobe had also misread the schedule, so the schedule had actually been like misinterpreted all round. I had to wear my own underwear in the film.
Right.
So Zach was like, "Well, what underwear have you got on? Because they haven't got any underwear for you." So I just showed him what underwear I just happened to be wearing, a black lacy set.
Oh, so that was okay.
Yeah, but like, can you imagine if I'd been wearing like
Mr. Men or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That I was like, you've read my mind, like little Miss Sunshine like knickers or something. It would have given a sort of different edge to Charlotte, wouldn't
What's
it?
happened to Charlotte? She's changed.
I know, and I remember Zach was like, "Can I just see your underwear?" And I sort of had a dressing gown on, and I was like, and he was like, "Yeah, no, that's fine." And then that's it. That's like quite an iconic sort of part in the film. When I'm in the bedroom, I'm in the bathroom, and I'm like to Pat, I'm like, "Are you coming in or what?"
I'll tell you what we should do. Right, you don't have to name any names, right?
Okay.
Don't have to name any names. But have you got any funny stories about? It can be about an actor. It could be about anybody but you don't have to mention their names, but just some funny stories, because people that are watching this, it's called The Criminal Connection because obviously it's a celebration of all things criminal, whether it's actors that play criminals or real criminals or lawyers or police enforcement, not police informants. It's actually quite, I'm just thinking it'd be quite funny if there's, because people don't really ever get an insight into the film world. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think I have any particular funny stories. Just that it's so weird, like coming from where I come from and like who I actually am, to be working with people like yourself and Roland and Craig, and how different we are in real life to the characters we play.
Oh no, but I think.
So I was petrified of Craig before, like when I first met him, I was petrified of him, and it took him some time to like warm up to me and to realise that maybe I'm not just some Dolly Bird who's, I'm actually going to be here for a little bit and actually be part of the franchise.
I think what's quite funny in lockdown was people become very sensitive to things. I remember when we was filming on Origins and Vinny come on set, and on his rider he had to have I don't know if it was prawn cocktail or smoky bacon Walker's crisps. And one day somebody forgot to put them out.
Oh no!
And he said, "Where's the crisps?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because I didn't know what was on. I didn't. You don't look at people's riders and go, "Oh, what, And he said, "Well, I've got these crisps and they're not there." And I was like, "So fucking what?" And he goes, "No, but it's on my rider."
Oh, bless him.
And I said, "Look, if you want to go to the shop, get your packet.
Go get you some.
Keep you sweet."
Oh.
But I really did. You meet Vinny?
I didn't.
He's so funny.
Was he a good guy?
We had a right laugh, and he was because he's done so much. You think he could be somebody who's not very generous, but as an actor he's really generous because he'd actually say, "Look, when we do this scene," and he'd run the lines with you. He'd go, "Come in a trailer and let's do," and he wanted it to be good. And but I know other actors that have come in like that, and they're not that generous. They don't. They're just there, do the job, go home. They're not interested. When it comes to the close up, they walk off.
Yeah, which is mad because surely you want to be behind the camera, giving it as much.
Yeah, of course.
So you get that response.
But I
we all know people like that.
I thought Vinny was very good, and I enjoyed him, and we had a laugh. We did have a laugh every day. It was good fun, and I've been shooting with him a couple of times as well. So
have you?
We have actually.
What do you shoot?
Anything that moves.
Charm. It's dangerous, isn't it?
But yes, that's when I met him actually. I've obviously known who he is for years, but he had a real trauma because he obviously lost his wife, and he happened to be in England dealing with all that, and we were just really lucky to get him to, because that was the first time anybody of that sort of calibre had come into it. I mean, obviously on Vengeance, you've got RD, you've got Phil Davis, you've got Anthony Scordy, Jeff Bell. So there's a few more.
Oh, Anthony Scordy's lovely.
He's amazing.
Oh, I love him.
Do you know what? I thought he was American as well. So I watched that Offer.
Yeah.
And I thought he was unbelievable as Carlo Gambino in there.
Well, where's he from then?
He's a Brit.
Stop it.
He's a Brit. So when I see him, I was like, Anthony, I loved you in that. And he went, yeah, mate, blah, blah. And I was like, you're a Brit. And he went, yeah. And I said, so? I said, he was so convincing.
He was fucking brilliant then, wasn't he? Because I've even met him and I didn't even twig.
Yeah.
Because I met him and I wasn't filming with him and I was just went up to him, I was like, Anthony,
he's a Brit in Hollywood, but he's a really nice guy.
He's so lovely, and we've stayed in touch a little bit. And George Russo as
George is great.
I love George. And who else you got? You got Leo Gregory and people like that. Yeah. Right. It's a good family, isn't it?
Yeah. Leo Gregory's not been in a while?
No, he's not. No, he's not. I was just thinking because we were all out recently.
Right, okay. Did you go to the Essex thing?
Yeah, we did.
What was that like?
It was good. It was my birthday.
That was so I'd come back that day.
Oh yeah, you should have come.
But no, I didn't have your. If I don't know it was your birthday,
yeah.
I would have made an effort.
It's my birthday. It was really nice. So yeah. No, Leo's not in any of the films, is he?
No. I think he might be in. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Do you think we should get Charlotte to do a thing to camera saying, "Don't be a listen to the Criminal Connection podcast"?
Hello, you. This is Charlotte from Rise of the Foot Soldier, also known as Emily Wyatt. Make sure you tune in to Terry Stone's new podcast, The Criminal Connection. Or we'll fucking find you.
She's a fucking actress, Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Criminal Connection podcast. Another amazing guest, Emily White from Rise of the Foot Soldier franchise. Stay tuned and we'll see you next week.
Oh,
See, it was easy, wasn't it?
thank you. That was a lovely little chat. I feel like we've really got to know each other now.